Hello, it's Ben from Ironmongery Experts. Today I'm going to show you how to change the cylinder on a Yale no. 1 rim Nightlatch. It's a simple task to carry out, so we can start straight away. Firstly, remove the grub screws from the edge of the lock case. Once the grub screws are removed from the lock case, you can remove it by prising it off the back of the door by firstly lifting up the latch side and then slipping the back of the lock case off the faceplate. Next, you'll need to remove the retaining screws holding the cylinder onto the door. Bear in mind these retaining screws are probably a little longer than you expect. They do take a couple of seconds to get each one out. To remove the final retaining bolt, you may have to enter the key into the cylinder and turn it, just so we can move the tail plate out of the way. Once the final retaining bolt is removed, you should be able to easily slip the cylinder out of the door. One of the most important things when fitting a new rim cylinder is to make sure you cut the cylinder's tail down to the same length as the cylinder you've just removed from the door. That can be easily measured by eye and then cut with snips and wiggled through with some pliers. Once you've checked that you cut your cylinder's tail down to the correct length, you can replace the cylinder in the door. Take special care to line up the tail of the cylinder with the tail plate on the back plate on the door. Once aligned, turning the key should turn the tail plate on the back of the door. Once the cylinder is in place, you will need to refit the retaining screws. We recommend using the original retaining screws when you refit the cylinder. Although new cylinders do normally come with new retaining bolts, it's not always guaranteed that they won't foul the back plate or tail plate when turning. To move the tail plate, use the key in the cylinder as before. Make sure not to over tighten the retaining screws, as doing so might restrict the movement of the cylinder when turning the key. Reattach the rim Nightlatch to the door, reversing the process you used to remove it. Once you're confident everything's secure, test the latch with your key. And there you have it. Changing the cylinder on the Yale no. 1 rim Nightlatch isn't as hard as it seems.